Hey, G. Xavier here from the new leadership series on leadership. I'm with Mark Lynch from Barry Plant, and we're going to be talking all things leadership. Mark, how are you, champion?
Really well. Friday, Jet's always good. And our leader today has shouted the whole office to pizzas from 095, which is a great pizza place in Doncaster. And there's leadership tip number one, feed the troops on a Friday. We're all pretty happy.
Leadership tip number one, feed the troops on a Friday. Mate, I reckon if there's a Hall of Fame in real estate, you'd be up there for a nomination, mate. You've been in the industry since, is it 92? Am I correct?
Yeah. Early 90s. I spent a few years traveling Australia and working in some interesting places. I used to drive a bus in Broome, Jet, at one point in time. I worked at Hamilton Island, Daydream Island, and my mother rang me when I was just turning 27, 28 and said, Mark, time to come home and get a job. And I said, I have one. She said, driving a bus is not a job for you.
All right.
And someone said to me, Mark, you're good with people. You should get into real estate. And that was my start. I started in Hawthorn in Melbourne, in the inners. And someone said to me, Mark, if you can make it in Hawthorn, you'll make it anywhere in life. So that was my journey in the inner suburbs. I spent 7 or 8 or 9 years in there in the east. Worked for a number of extremely not only good companies, but some really impressive people.
Yeah.
And then I bit the bullet and I went to Brunswick in the north of Melbourne and opened a business. And someone said, Mark, have you got a database? Do you know anyone in Brunswick? And I said, no, I know no one, but we'll make it happen. And that was my general view of life. That was fantastic. Unfortunately, at one point, I had a bit of a medical illness, which sort of precluded me from continuing at the time. And I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So I made a bit of a lifestyle change. And the company I was with said, Mark, what are your plans? And I said, I'm not sure. And they said, look, you're great at real estate. Why don't you come and join the franchisor side?
Yeah.
And since then, I've had 20 years working for a couple of very large franchise groups and 16, 17 years at Barry Plant. So I've had a fairly, good journey. It's been great.
And how would you describe your key role at the moment?
Yeah, so it's, I work a lot in recruitment of franchisees that will join us. And I'm always looking at people and personalities, and I don't look for numbers, Jet, or how good they might be on the ground. I look for attitude and fit. That's that classic book. I think I read it 20 years ago. Jim Collins one, you get the right people on the bus and you go in the right direction. So I do a bit of that. I train a whole bunch of auctioneers. I spend my time during the week out visiting the Barry Plant Group and seeing. We've got 80 odd offices, Jet, so we've got 70 different leaders out there.
Yeah.
And we get to see a lot of the good, sometimes the bad.
Yeah.
And we work with our business owners to improve what they've got to make sure that, they've got a successful business today, but they've also got an asset to sell.
Yeah.
And, I work on a very simple concept for business owners. I call it 3 words, and I'm sure I'm not the first to say this, Jet, but if you're running a business today, attract, train, retain.
Yeah.
Nail that, you're on track.
And how do you, I guess, educate or train or teach or inspire leaders to do that in your group?
Yeah, and that's a really difficult question to answer. 25 plus years in the industry, I still go to seminars. I still try and improve myself. And then I speak to a lot of people in our group and I'll say, hey, listen, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about using this trainer? I know we've recommended a few people deal with you direct, Jet, on various things as well. But always... one of the downsides to real estate is most people that end up running the business have been good salespeople.
Yeah.
good salespeople sometimes don't make the best leaders, and then it's a bit of a learning curve to understand what do I need to change, and often it's a a change of not all about me as the leader, and I need to start working with the team, and that's a bit of a gradual one of being there, stepping back, empowering the team to step forward, so that you hopefully end up with a balance as a business owner of having a nice lifestyle and a nice amount of profit. Now, there's no point having lots of profit if the family hates you.
That's right.
Family might love you, but you do need a bit of profit to have a few Christmas little gifts, maybe a holiday here and there. So you sort of have to change that mindset to a degree as a business owner to go, okay, it's not about me. I was once the best listing and selling agent running around. Now I need to develop that team and start empowering them. I think people often refer to it as servant leadership, which is great. A lot of people say it, but don't live it. And that's a bit of a challenge there that for all of our business owners, it's what's the vision? Where do you see yourself? And having the ability to self-reflect is something that we all learn over time. And, over the journey, we do meet a lot of people that will point the finger back and say, oh, it's not me, it's the brand. The brand's no good and various issues. The reality is, I often joke and say, hey, listen, we should all send out 50 million compact mirrors, and when we want to blame someone, we should open the mirror up and go, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he won't mind me saying it, but, many years ago, one of our franchisees, Bill Carp, who's been in the industry 30 plus years, he was at risk of leaving our brand. Had a few issues and was not pointing the finger too much, but was considering his options. And then Bill said to me a year later, he said, Lynchy, he said, I worked it out. What was wrong? That was me.
Yeah.
No one else, not the brand, not the color of the signboard, me.
Yeah.
And now, that's probably going back 4 or 5 years, but consistently now, Bill and his team go from people of our vintage, Jet, in our mid-50s, we'll call it.
Thanks, mate.
So Billy's there, probably circle 60, but they've got a really good core of 50, 40, 30, 25s right through that business.
Yeah.
It's a great team.
Yeah.
They all get along really well. And then, I think a lot of those things, Jet, is as the leader, having that vision, having the goals there, achieving some goals, but as you achieve the goals, you've got to celebrate. One of our franchisees, I spoke to her this morning. I said, what are you up to? And she said, oh, it's been raining, so I can't ride the horse. I'm doing some retail therapy and rewarding myself. That's fantastic. You have to reward yourself as the business leader, but as your team's getting better, we need to reward them. And, when I look at teams, Jet, as a leader, it's probably understanding, getting a few extra things in on, how a bit of humility, how humble you are, but also, Jet, if you're working for me, I want to know what makes Jet tick. I want to know, I'm not really, his real estate talent, no doubt, he's good at that. But I need to know outside of his real estate talent, what does he do?
Yeah.
What does he get up to on the weekends? Does he have a partner? Does he not? Does he have children? And understanding all of those things. So the more I can understand about my team working with me, the more effective I am as a business leader.
Yeah.
Now, we're really lucky here. Yes, I've got a CEO, and Lisa's terrific in terms of, now I've got 3 kids. They're all getting a bit older now, but if I need to duck out early, I can. If I need to go and do something outside of work during work hours, I can. So understanding that everyone has, I think years and years ago, they'd say, oh, leave your problems at home.
Yeah.
It's not reality.
It's different now.
Come to work, and we need to be a lot more open and understanding of what goes on in people's lives.
Yeah.
There is a lot of stress. There is a lot of, there is a lot of mental health issues that we see a lot along the journey on not only business owners, but the business itself. It can be up, it can be down. And when it's down, it's okay, we need to help these people get that little bit back in there and look after their stress levels.
Yeah,
So
very important.
it's so much all encompassing. And, again, as the leader, I think I love my AFL. Do you get AFL, Jet, or you don't understand it?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I watched the grand final. It was pretty.
Yeah, okay. Now,
Okay.
the atypical coach in the 1970s, there's some amazing people out there, but gee, the way they led their teams was ranting, raving, screaming, yelling at the players. We saw Craig McRae, the coach of Collingwood last week, probably the most humble coach I've ever seen in how he deals with his players, by talking to them, not yelling at them, understanding them. And every single person is different on what makes them tick.
Yeah.
So that deep understanding of my team, who I need to push a little bit harder, who I need to be a bit softer with, what goes on when this person goes home at 5:30 in the afternoon, what goes on outside of work with kids and family, to understand how do I treat everyone in there. And I think I know, real estate floats around a world of KPIs and achieving your KPIs. I know you need to do that, but I'm not a leader, or if I'm running a business and having done it myself, that says, okay, Jet, you haven't hit your KPIs. Why? It's more understanding, okay, here's the numbers. What do we need to do? How can I help you get to where you need to go? Is there more things that I need to do?
Yeah.
That's going to help you achieve your goals. So as the business owner, I need to be empathetic, and I really need to be honest with my team about how I'm feeling, even if I'm having a bad day. I look at myself, the three kids. I had one that moved to America for a basketball scholarship last year. And he got sick there for a week or more, and he lost plenty of weight, and he ended up in hospital. And we're at home thinking, oh, geez, stress, we can't get there. We can't look after him. We're relying on other people. Fortunately, his leader or coach at the time rang us and said, hey, I'm looking after Jake. All's good. After he gets out of hospital, he'll come home with us for a couple of days. You guys don't worry.
Yeah.
And that's the coach of the basketball team.
Yeah.
Just allayed our fears, relaxed us, got us on track as to how we were feeling about something that was well out of our control and a long, long way away. But it's always, learning, improving, but stepping back and looking at the business to go, okay, what are we really good at? What are we not so good at? And understanding we all have, I think we all have parts of our business that are just not working. And we all have the areas that are great, but we tend to ignore the poor areas and think that'll fix itself, it'll go away. And it just doesn't. But it's really a self-reflection upon, I'm the leader. I've attracted these people. I've trained them. And you've got to train all the time and bring in a lot of different people to assist with the training. But then looking at, it's a really overused word in real estate and in business. Everyone talks about culture. Yeah. I have great culture. Now, I have people say I have great culture, and I know that some of them don't have great culture. So it's a matter of then saying, okay, guys, look, I hear what you're saying. Let's reflect upon that and look at the team overall. And it's a fairly challenging thing, Jet, but our business owners allow us, as a franchisor, to do an NPS survey, which is the Net Promoter Score, on what does the team think of the leader.
Yeah.
What does the team think of the training, the environment, the office, and everything? So that we can go back to our business owners and go, okay, confronting, here's where they scored you for various reasons.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy for a business owner to go, oh, that's not quite right, because of X, Y, and Z. But it's also a really good time to reflect on that and go, well, actually, that is valid. I do need to fix that. And I think if you can look in the mirror again to go, well, yeah, they're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are areas that I need to improve, not just my own personal outlook, but for the good of my team. Because
Sense.
we all know in the journey of real estate, our great performers are probably going to want, I always say, they want a shot at the title.
Yeah.
They want to run their own show. As a business owner, we need to help them go and run their own show.
Yeah.
Now, there's two ways. I either bring them into my business if I can. But if I can't, I'm hopefully going to help them into their own one, hopefully far enough away from me. But if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. And I think having that open and transparent chat with your team members about, okay, what's your career path? Where do you want to get to? And we've got people in our team that have been with us for 20, 30 years that don't wish to run a business.
Yeah.
They run their own team and they do very well. That's what they want. They just want the support in the back end. We have those that have been with us for 2 years that we can see, yep, they want to run their own show. Good leaders are going to go, I see where they want to get to. I'll help them get there. And we never own people.
No.
We sort of give them a hug. They're with our family for a period of time. Eventually they will head out.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, and I think when that happens, of course, we're incredibly disappointed that someone wants to leave our family. But if we look at it and go, well, I've nurtured them, I've trained them, I've retained them for a number of years, it's just time.
Yeah, that's right.
For that to happen. That's good leadership too.
Yeah, I like that. Have you noticed much difference in leadership since you started to now?
Yeah, absolutely. I've worked for some pretty top agents over the journey. One or two that we would run through a brick wall and follow them because they were just great people. And that likability of, I love my leader. He's terrific. And that works really well. I've also worked for one or two that it was all about the money. You could be doing better.
Yeah.
And I remember someone said to me once, Lynchy, you can earn double. And it was sort of like pounding the desk. Oh, you could bring in double the GCI. I said, oh, that's great. I said, look, I'm in real estate to enjoy a lifestyle and earn a certain amount of money. I said, the good news is my wife still likes me and I have a child that seems to like me as well. And I'd like to continue that. But
yeah,
if you don't have, there's no point working hard and pushing the team to the absolute max that one day a team member goes home and he says, well, hang on, where's the family? There's a little note on the table saying you've ignored us for the last 5 years. Well, we're gone.
Yeah, right.
So it's got to be, as a business owner, yeah, of course we want our team members to excel. And we see some in our business doing 1.5, 2 million in GCI. That's great. But I see others that are doing 300, 350, very happy. They contribute really well to the business and they do a great job and they're happy. They're great Barry Plan people.
Taking that into consideration, what do you think the future of leadership is in real estate?
I think there's going to be lots of change in models, and we've seen that over the journey. We've seen a lot of people going to, various models that there's no real team. They might work from home. They might have a serviced office, to others that have a team out there in a different sort of workspace.
Yeah.
I think personally, the days of 140 square meter offices with 150 to 200 on a rent roll is going to disappear. That's my own view. I think some will go to the larger model and say, well, I'm going to employ 10 to 20 people. and work a larger geographical area. Then some will go, I'm going to work, a higher commission split, but work from home. And I think they all have their challenges that a lot of the home-based people actually need to be around the team.
Yeah.
Some of the people in the team need to be on their own at home. So it's sort of for the business owner, again, understanding what do they want.
Yeah.
We've got some, incredible, changed business. We've got a large Bayside operation that's 900 square metres. It covers about 10 suburbs. Now, down Geelong Way, we've got 2 offices that covers 7 or 8 areas. Most of our other agents have 4 to 5 offices covering the same area. So I think that will change. There'll be a vast change to agents being a lot more technical.
Yeah.
But the one thing in our world, and we're really, really lucky for this, is our business is about connecting. We need to, you might get lucky and list a house online and your profile's good, but people need to meet you, see the whites of your eyes, and our business is still one-on-one. So you've got to be really careful of high tech, no touch.
Yep.
High touch, no tech. There's a middle area that business owners need to get to.
Yeah.
Rather than it's always, okay, how many emails have we sent? It's, okay, how many people have we really connected with? Pushing that area. I think business owners need to be mindful of community and values and how people view our business.
Yep.
We don't shout it from the hills, but, I was really surprised years ago. We support the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And they said to us one year, oh, you guys are actually one of our largest donors every year. Now, we don't put tons through, but every October we have a Wishtober. We donate a portion from every single sale through to that. From a corporate entity, we match that as well. It's probably about $100,000 a year that we donate. I think we're just about to cross $1 million. Now, of course, we should do that. We should be wanting to help others out. I'll never forget, I was traveling through America one day and, I gave a few dollars to the one of the people that was homeless.
Yeah.
And my son said, oh, Dad, why do you do that? And I said, Jake, I do that because I can. Does it make me feel better? Will it get that person off the street? No, but it might just buy them some food or a drink or coffee. And I think as business owners, as people, as leaders, it's not just about me, my team. It's how can I be a better person out there in the world? And I think that's a big change. And I think we learned a lot out of COVID.
Yeah.
Us Melburnians, well, we just learned to stay at home. We were locked down for a long time.
Yeah, you got the worst.
Coming out of that, getting back to connecting with people was a really different experience that for a lot it's been terrific, for some not so. But it's that community involvement that we really enjoy. And, I don't do a lot of auctions these days. I do the odd fill-in every now and then. I've got one in my local area in a couple of weeks. And the vendor said to me, oh, Mark, have you worked out what you're going to talk about? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'll talk about the community because that's what people are buying into in that area.
Right.
That's what a lot of people want is community.
Yeah.
So from us, here at Barry Plant head office, it's great. Fridays, okay. Lisa says, okay, it's been a tough week. My shout for pizzas for the whole office. Now, we had about 10 in. It's good. It's Doggy Fridays as well out here, Jed. I don't know if you have any poochers at home, but
got
we have the dogs come in on Fridays just to make our work environment a little bit more happy.
Yeah.
Doing the little extra things. And I think as a leader, it's looking at how do I do little extras for my team to actually stay engaged with me and for me to stay engaged with the team rather than looking at the bottom line, how much GCI, how's my rent book going. It's being a good person will rub off on the team and the team will love me and vice versa.
Yeah, I love it.
It's
to be a good point, mate. If we can go sort of back to your leadership over the years, what do you still struggle with as a leader? What's your challenge as a leader personally that you're still working on?
Yeah, sometimes I can be a bit too blunt.
All right.
And it's not being blunt. It's sometimes frustration.
Yeah.
Is I know the answer. I know what I need to say, and this person needs to be pushed, but probably my delivery occasionally has been a little bit too hard.
Yeah, right.
And that's probably, I think, the older we get in life, we can be a little bit shorter in how we see things. You know, if I went back 10, 15 years, I'd probably deliver a lot softer.
Yeah.
That message. But it's funny, I think today, I reckon I have most of the answers. If someone says, Mark, look at my business, tell me what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
I can do that. Depending on how I deliver it, that person may not want to hear it.
You're right.
That's the tougher area that sometimes I think I can be a little bit too direct.
Yeah.
And there's that medium between too direct, too fluffy.
Yeah.
How hard can I be?
Yeah.
To get that message across on, okay, here's what your staff really think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here's how we see the marketing in your area. And occasional, we see marketing that's really off-brand. It's looks a little bit cheap and nasty, and we bring it up, and it's everyone else is around the same areas, and it's that ability to how do we rise above as a business owner?
Yeah, yeah.
How do we get better? And I firmly believe, and I'll anyone can tell me I'm wrong, but I remember getting married, and I got the the obligatory wedding album, and I spent plenty. He's a good salesperson, but when we're selling homes and dealing with people, it's not about the commission, it's not about the advertising. We should be actually scaling it up, not scaling it down to compete with everyone else.
Yeah. And
getting our team to be better and assisting them to educate our team members to understand that, 1.25% or 2%, the difference is minimal. It's what am I delivering to my client? And I want my team to really deliver a first-class service. As a leader, the one thing that I've seen time and time again where as an industry we fail is we're incredibly focused on the deal.
Yep.
Getting the deal, getting it on the market, getting it sold. And then we're out hunting again next week, chasing new deals, but the client we've dealt with, we sort of forget about them. And it was a really interesting conversation I had, Jet, with a client who rang me and said, Mark, I just want to give you my experience. And I said, please, fire away. She said, the price I got for my home was amazing. She said, your marketing was terrific. She said, I really like the salesperson too. He was great. And she said, I will never sell a home with you ever again. And I said, great. Tell me about that. And she said, Mark, I'm sure you've never done this in life. You sound like a pretty good bloke. And thank you. She said, it felt like a one-night stand.
Yeah, right.
It was instantly gratifying.
Yeah.
She said, I really liked everything about the deal, but she said, a month later, I haven't heard from that person.
Yeah.
She said, I felt like it was all about the deal.
Yeah, right.
And then it's gone. And then we're chasing new business all the time rather than nurturing our existing.
Yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. That's a good point, mate. Yeah,
it's sort of, companies, we spend millions of dollars every year as an industry chasing new business all the time. We don't look after the business we've got or dealt with. As business leaders, teach our people that when you start, and geez, I've done it many a time, early days in real estate, was get the deal done, move on, chase. Get the deal done, move on, chase. Rather than get the deal done, move on, look after client.
That's right. It's
bring client, look after them. And it's that nurture side is it's good leadership.
Yeah.
To look after the clients. And I'm sure if I think the car industry's done it really well. that you buy from them today, they'll be chasing you in 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
thinking agents, European cars, they got a lease on that. 3 years in, I need to be on the phone, get the next deal done.
Yeah. All the way through it. So
all the way through.
yeah.
So good leadership. Make sure that we run a really good nurture and promotion sort of system.
Mate, I've got a couple of questions left. The first one is, what do you say is critical for new leaders coming through to focus on?
I think focus on number one, the right attitude.
Yep.
B, what is the plan?
Right.
And C, learn as much as you can. So if you joined us today, Jet, and said, okay, Mark, I'm joining you guys, I'm a good estate agent, I've got a rent roll, I'm probably going to say, righto, Jet, I want you to go and spend half an hour with these 3 people over the next month. And then next month, I want you to come to me and say, Mark, that was great. Here's what I learned.
Yeah.
What else can you hook me up with? Because I think the more you meet, understand other people's business, the better you can implement back into your own. Because we don't know everything.
Yeah.
The way we get better is dealing with better people. And I once had a guy, good guy, and he said, Mark, why would I join your company? I'm number one. And I said, oh, that's great. I said, who do you learn from? He goes, oh, no, I'm number one. I don't have to learn from anyone.
Yeah.
I said, well, that's great. I said, now, if you joined us tomorrow, I said, you'd be number 23.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, okay. I said, well, there's 23 people that are better than you, no offense, that you can learn from. And he said, yeah, it's a really good point.
Yeah.
And that's what I'd encourage is get out of the bubble.
Yeah.
People learn from people.
Yeah, I love it. Good question. Lots of wisdom there, mate. Last question. Sum up leadership in one word, mate.
Compassion.
Interesting.
I think, I can't do it in one word perfect. Compassion, though, I think is, takes in a lot of areas. It takes in your understanding, takes in knowing people. I'd love to say it's, getting back to my 3 of attract, train, retain.
Yeah.
But vision, compassion, honesty.
Yeah.
Are the right things to do. And I reckon real estate's in a pretty good state these days. I think the agents are as honest as they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
The consumer, I'm not sure why we're still down the bottom on there. I think it's getting better.
Yeah.
But I think people coming through will get better at communication. And if the buyer says, well, Mark, what do I have to pay? I just tell them, you're going to pay 1.5. Okay. I think too often in the past, we weren't that upfront.
Yeah, transparent.
That old one, you'd hear it 20 years ago, quote them low, watch them go, quote them high, watch them die. Whereas the consumer today, well, here it is. The vendor knows what their home's worth. They know. There's no point walking in and saying it's worth that when it's worth that.
Yeah. The
buyers know what it's worth. Let's be brutally honest with all parties out there on where we sit.
Yeah.
If I'm back in the lounge room trying to list and sell real estate, for every 10 people that I meet, 3 of them just don't like me. That's okay. That's a poor judge of character on their behalf, but that's the way the world is.
Yeah.
There's 7 that do.
Yeah, that's right.
My life's going to be really happy dealing with the 7 that want to deal with me.
That's right. Dealing
with the 3 that really don't want to deal with me, that's going to do your head in.
Yeah, no.
It's like engaging the team, Jet. I want a team that they're my people, and vice versa.
Yeah.
I'm theirs, they're mine.
Yeah. Love it. Mate, I love it. Wealth of wisdom there, brother. Appreciate your time. Mark Lynch, Barry Plant.
No problem.
Going to get nominated for the Hall of Fame one day.
Good news, Jet. Appreciate your time, mate.
Thanks for your time, and we'll do round 2 at some stage down the track, mate.
Good on you. We'll see you soon.
All right.